I'm Julie Zenner along with Dennis Anderson, and here's what's coming up on Almanac North.
We'll tell you why a lack of succession planning for local businesses is hurting the economy and what can be done about it.
It was a frigid but fast 2023 Beargrease Sled Dog Marathon. We'll have a report direct from the trail.
And the Cloquet Pie Knot has been named Minnesota's best weekly newspaper for the third straight year, bucking a trend of newspaper closings.
Those stories and voices of the region coming up next on Almanac North. Hello and welcome to Almanac North. Thanks for watching. And Denny, we received a bitter reminder of what winter is all about this week.
We had our share of cold weather, but we also had our share of some decent warm temperatures in the month of January.
Yeah, and the sunshine that came with the colder temperatures made it all bearable.
Yeah, I think it did too.
Anyway.
Okay.
All right, well, let's begin with the headlines.
All right, thank you very much, Julie. Minnesota's Democrat-controlled legislature is wasting little time passing bills backed by the party. Now on Tuesday, Governor Walz signed the PRO Act, which protects abortion rights and other reproductive options. On Thursday, the Senate passed a bill that puts Minnesota on a path to carbon-free electricity by the year 2040. Republicans opposed both bills, which passed on party-line votes.
On Wednesday, Minnesota 8th District Congressman Pete Stauber was named chair of the Subcommittee on Energy and Mineral Resources. In a news release, Stauber said the House Republican majority is committed to restoring American energy and mineral dominance. Congressman Stauber will join us live next week.
Former United States Senator David Durenberger died Tuesday at the age of 88. Durenberger was a progressive Republican from Minnesota who served 16 years in the U.S. Senate. Durenberger helped pass the landmark Clean Air Act and the Americans for Disabilities Act, the first federal law protecting the disabled.
And 265 snowmobile riders are expected to hit the trail next week for the Blackwoods Blizzard Tour to raise money to fight ALS. The tour hopes to raise $1.75 million, adding to a total of $15 million donated to combat the disease. Riders depart from Black Bear Casino Thursday morning and ride to Fortune Bay and Tower, Timber Lake Lodge in Grand Rapids, and back to Cloquet on the three-day ride.
Recent surveys of business owners reveal that 75% have no exit plan for retirement, and nearly half have no plan in place if they're forced to leave the business due to illness or death. This lack of succession planning can have a real impact on the economy. Here with more is Zach Filipovich, the consultant and finance manager with the Northspan Group here in Duluth. Zach, welcome. Thank you for being here tonight. Now, you're a consultant and a finance manager with Northspan. What is the Northspan Group?
The Northspan Group is a nonprofit consulting organization. We run 3 programs, and we have consulting that we do work with businesses. That's a lot of what I do, and different communities across our region. Northspan has been here since 1985, helping businesses and communities grow and expand their influence in the region.
So, Zach, what have you observed in the region that has you concerned about the lack of businesses really thinking about succession planning?
Yeah, well, you guys just laid out some of the numbers there, and half of people, business owners, have not had any planning at all for succession. But we all know that 100% at some point will need to have that planning done. And when we're talking about the local economy and our regional economy, it's important to make sure that wealth, those jobs, stay here. And so if business owners and businesses have a successful succession plan, they'll be able to transition that business to a new owner, retain that economic wealth, that economic driver, and those jobs here in our region.
So, Zach, with so many baby boomers preparing to retire, could this have an outsized impact on this region?
Yes, I believe it can. We know that all baby boomers will reach retirement age in 7 short years by 2030. And we know that our region in particular is a bit older than the majority of the country. So we know that baby boomers have created more businesses than any other generation, and so that's a lot of that wealth and economic impact that baby boomers have had, particularly on our region, and we do not want to see that go away.
Mm-hmm. When should business owners start thinking about succession planning? Because we all procrastinate.
Yes, I as soon as possible. You know that old saying, "Start with the end in mind." That applies to business too. So even when you're starting a business, you should maybe have a concept of what it might look like to transition out or to sell your business. We like to say, hey, if you're thinking about retirement 5 years out, start your succession planning now. Mm-hmm. That gives you some time and some options. If you get a business valuation done at that time, and the numbers don't come back as quite as high as you might expect or want them to, or what you might need them to be to enjoy the third phase of your life, then you have some time to recover from that and build your business so it does have a value for the owner to transition properly and have that wealth.
Zach, I read that 57% of Twin Cities business owners are less than confident that they are ready to transition their business. Is that surprising to you? That's a lot of business owners.
That is a lot of businesses. I guess it's not surprising from what I have seen, but with a plan in place, you can be more confident with transitioning your business and making sure that key employees are there and ready for the transition, making sure that customers will not have any stoppages of work or supply there too. So that's some of the benefits that a business succession plan can provide.
Is succession planning different from just planning your retirement?
It can be. I think of succession planning, and most people think of succession planning as one owner transferring the ownership and control of their business to a new owner. It can also mean preparing for the exit or retirement of a key employee, like a CEO or top management position. But when we talk about succession planning, it's mostly about transitioning or selling a business to a new owner.
Mm-hmm.
Just as we were talking about before, it's vitally important that ownership happens smoothly, so that wealth can remain in our region and those jobs can remain.
So can Northspan move these conversations forward?
Yes, we have a facilitation method that we use, adopted by or modified from the Certified Exit Planning Institute. And so we will work with a business owner, work with their management team, and we also like to work with the business owner's family, because there's three legs to this stool. There's the business owner's personal life, what they want to do after they retire and transition out, the financial means to make sure that they have the life that they want, and then there's obviously the third leg of the stool, planning for the business and making sure that the business is ready for transition.
So Zach Filipovich, Consultant and Finance Director with Northspan Group, thank you so very much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, from Duluth to Grand Portage, our team at PBS North followed the Beargrease from checkpoint to checkpoint this week. Our goal was to capture what truly makes this race run, and it's not just the sled dogs. Producer Megan McGarvey brings us this report from the trail.
Welcome to the 39th annual John Beargrease Sled Dog Marathon. We're back to give you all the sights, sounds, and results of this 300-mile race.
Crowds of spectators lined up in sub-zero temperatures to cheer on the racers as they began their journey from Duluth to Grand Portage. From there, teams raced 40 miles to the first checkpoint at Highway 2. After eating and resting, mushers are then off again, now journeying to Finland, Minnesota.
We are at the second checkpoint of the race. We're here at Finland. We're at the community center, and this is a significant checkpoint because we're now running at night. We're now taking a break at night. It's super cold already to begin with today, and now it's going to be even colder as we move into the nighttime. That means dogs are likely going to move a lot faster through the race and are just in prime conditions for doing what they love best, pulling and running. I feel like this is a really good example of a checkpoint where we really come together as volunteers and just give our best support to the mushers and their teams the best that we can.
Finland mushers will head to Sawbill, their first checkpoint with a mandatory rest period of 4 hours. All mushers are required to rest for a total of 24 hours before getting to the finish line.
The four-legged athletes aren't the only ones that make this race run. We have hundreds of volunteers right here at the Beargrease Sled Dog Marathon that help with checkpoints, road crossings, and helping mushers get their dogs from the chute to where they need to rest and recuperate.
Timing is everything when it comes to sled dog races, so we spoke with Carmen Schemp, a volunteer responsible for time tracking these racers and how they're being able to share that information from across the trail.
We have a synchronized timing between all of the checkpoints, so we use an atomic clock to make sure that all of the checkpoints are in sync with when the dogs are leaving and going. And you can use it sort of as a stopwatch. You can stop it as soon and start it as soon as they're crossing the designated line. We make sure that there's an accurate time because time comes into play, especially at the finish. And the mushers need a really accurate time so they know exactly how much time they have to rest and how long it's taking them to run. There's a few locations where there's no wireless internet or signal of any kind, and so then we rely on them radioing to somebody who has the timing sheets pulled up on a computer and a location where there's Wi-Fi.
Yep, 31814. Over.
Good copy. Kings Road, clear. We're at the Kings Road turnaround. So the dogs come up and they get to this spot and they have to turn around and go back towards Trail Center. They don't stop at Trail Center, and they continue on to Skyport Lodge. That's their next stop. And it's just so really cool to see the dogs come up over the rises and when they are working their butt off to get up the hill, and the musher gets off the sled and starts running behind it, you know, and try to get less weight on the sled so the dogs can make it up the hill. And he's encouraging the dogs, and you're encouraging the dogs. It's really cool to see.
Good dog.
Oh, Keith, come on, Keith. Woo, woo. Good job, guys. Good job.
Thanks for the help, you guys.
Good, Keith. It's a wilderness trail for sure, so you know there's not a lot of built-up environment. You know, you're not going across a lot of roads or anything, so you're actually out in the woods.
Good dog, good dog. Woo! Good dog.
After the Kings Road turn, mushers navigate the trail in darkness as they make their way to Skyport, the 5th checkpoint. Here, there is no mandatory vet check, so mushers can feed and settle their team and catch a few hours of sleep before heading back on the trail to Mineral Center, the final checkpoint. Mineral Center is the last checkpoint with a mandatory rest period of 4 hours. Although the last leg of the race is shorter, it is one filled with twists, turns, and hills. A final challenge before the finish line. We're at the finish line of the John Beargrease Sled Dog Marathon, and what a race it was. Keith Eiley ended up taking the finish, overtaking former winner Ryan Anderson. We caught up with our new champion, Keith Eiley, to get his thoughts on the race.
Normally I've raced dogs for probably over 3 decades in this land. Normally I have an adult trained dog team and I go to a race expecting to win. This one, it was a different approach because it's all a young dog team that hadn't raced. It was, I'll be honest, it was hard for somebody like me who's won so many races in his life to approach it that different and stand on the drag pad and race differently that way. So I'm not saying it was the easiest thing in the world. It was hard, but did pay off.
The John Beargrease Sled Dog Marathon has been a part of our community for 39 years. It's hard to believe it almost ceased to exist.
A number of years back, Beargrease almost wasn't a thing anymore, and like that's really scary because there have been other sled dog races that have gone extinct, that don't exist anymore. And I'm really proud to be a part of this community and this team to keep this race alive and keep this tradition of mushing alive and like keeping it going up the North Shore Trail and just celebrating Minnesota as a whole.
For the third straight year, the Pine Knot News was named the top weekly newspaper at the Minnesota Newspaper Association's annual convention. The local independently owned newspaper in Cloquet is a remarkable story at a time when many communities, big and small, are losing their newspapers. Well, here with more on their story is Jana Peterson, editor and co-owner of the Pine Knot News, and Mike Kreger is a reporter and page designer with the Pine Knot News. And welcome. Thanks for being here, and congratulations. Great news that you're getting all of these accolades for the paper. And you're relatively new to this endeavor. Talk a little bit about the story of the Pine Knot.
Okay. We put our first issue out in October of 2018. In Cloquet, Minnesota, the local paper had closed its office. They were still producing a paper there, but people were either officing out of home or in Duluth. I was one of them. I left my job there. 5 of us chipped in money to start what we wanted, a truly local paper with an office where people could come pay their bill or show us their photo album or tell us the latest scoop, sometimes inadvertently. But yeah, and we have some very experienced staff, and things have gone well.
And Mike, the paper's been recognized as the best weekly paper in the state for the past 3 years. That's phenomenal. Tell us about that.
Well, it's something Jana and I talked about when we went to the first convention, that we were eligible to win any kind of award.
Sure.
And we got close, we thought, that year, and then the next year we won it, and we were shocked. That was the pandemic year, so everything was virtual, so we couldn't celebrate with all of our colleagues across the state. But
yeah, we were in the office.
Sure.
Right. And then we won it again, and now we won it again. And the one thing that people across the industry that we saw at the convention last week, they said, we really want to hate you guys because you keep winning. But they like our story, and they like the fact that we're a strong, hyper-local weekly paper that is actually surviving and doing well. And the readers love us, and so do our peers across the industry, so it's nice.
They also like the fact that we're independent and locally owned. I mean, in an industry that's dominated by corporate newspapers, it's good when you can survive and thrive without those props and supports.
Mm-hmm. Why is it so important to keep these small independent community newspapers alive?
Well, if you look at the research, they say that having a newspaper can help keep your taxes down, because we're watchdogging the city council, the school board. They have to explain if they have strange expenses, but it's also just the connection. I mean, Mike, tell them your Facebook, like somebody sees an accident. I'll tell it. Anyway, you got 4 people who see an accident, and one says, I'm sure he broke his leg. The other one says he was drinking. The other one says this. And the 4th one, who's a reporter, says, I'm going to call the police station and find out what happened, and I'll follow up at the hospital. And so it's producing the truth, too, vetting the truth. You know, there's a lot of news on social media, but we all know that a fair amount of it is not true.
Mike, many small communities across the country are losing their local newspapers. What's keeping the Pine Knot alive?
I think it's the experience of the staff. As you well know, the longer you're in the industry, the easier things get as far as collecting news, knowing who to talk to, And we know kind of how the paper should come together each week. And it's something that we don't do focus groups, and we know our readers pretty well. And they come in the office and they tell us what they like. And we try to deliver that.
What are they looking for? Solid journalism?
Yep, they're looking for solid journalism. They're looking to be entertained a little bit too. Jana and I tend to be very serious about our news gathering, and sometimes we go, that's a pretty hefty paper this week. And we try to keep things a little lighter by having, some good feature photography and features on, the lighter side of things. But we are definitely the watchdog in the community.
Jenny, you mentioned that it's a real experienced staff, and folks like yourself have worked for larger newspapers. Is this a real labor of love and something that feels different to you as a reporter?
Definitely, yeah. I work more than I ever have in my life, longer hours, and I am happier and less stressed. If there's a mistake, I own it, or whoever made it owns it, and we move on. But yeah, I live there. It's my town. It's where my kids grew up. It's absolutely a labor of love. And people call me all the time.
Is it hard staying relevant when you're a weekly? Do you find that you have to kind of push stories out on social media through the week too, so that people always get kind of that news churn?
I think we worry about the quality of our journalism. We don't try to be first. We don't try to push everything out there right away. People are going to read something new in the story that we have. Even if it's a sports story, they're going to find something new. A game that they saw, they're going to find something new in the paper each week.
Yeah, we try to be better.
There's an old saying, I don't want to be first, I want to be best.
Yes,
Right.
And right, absolutely correct.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming in. Again, congratulations on the success of the newspaper.
Thanks.
And good luck going forward.
Jana, Mike, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Well, it's time now for Voices of the Region, when we hear from an area journalist about stories in the news. Our guest this week is Danielle Kaeding, a reporter with Wisconsin Public Radio.
So Bayfield County and Xcel Energy are partnering under a new utility program to build its first microgrid project in the county. And there are only a handful of these microgrids across Wisconsin right now. And basically what they are is they supply a network of customers with energy that is separate from a utility service, and it can be switched on or off as needed. And so microgrids offer more resilience and reliability for customers when power outages occur on the main grid. And they can also minimize the amount of power disruptions by reducing demand on a utility system. And this is something that Bayfield County has been pursuing to try to alleviate some of the disruptions that they've seen in the face of extreme events like severe winter weather and also record flooding that the county has seen in the last decade. If Bayfield County has already built a 116 kilowatt solar system, and they'll be pairing that with battery storage and the county's existing backup diesel generator, so that if some sort of outage were to occur, they would still be able to provide essential emergency services in the county, and also serve as a place for the community to utilize it if people needed power. The Port of Duluth Superior recently saw the latest departure of a cargo carrying freighter in nearly 50 years, and this comes as ice cover on the Great Lakes has been at a near record low since the start of the season. And this year is the 5th lowest year for average ice cover on the lakes since the start of the season, according to NOAA's Great Lakes Environmental Research Lab. And recently, on January 21st, the Lake Freighter Saginaw left Superior with a load of iron ore cargo bound for the Algoma Steel Facility in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And the Duluth Seaway Port Authority says that records indicate that is the latest shipment since January of 1975. The Great Lakes Environmental Research Lab has found that ice cover on the lakes is decreasing at a rate of about 5% each decade. And so researchers at UW Superior wanted to study how that could affect shipping on the lakes. And, basically a combination of ice loss and another lock at Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan could mean a longer or even year-round shipping season. So recently, around 20 wildlife and animal protection groups petitioned the U.S. Forest Service to ban the use of hounds for hunting in the Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest. And this comes after Wisconsin's controversial wolf hunt 2 years ago. And if you recall, during the 2021 wolf hunt in February, hunters killed 218 wolves in less than 3 days. And that's nearly 100 wolves more than state licensed hunters were allowed under a quota that they split with Ojibwe tribes in Wisconsin. And so groups like the Center for Biological Diversity and Friends of the Wisconsin Wolf and Wildlife filed this petition to ask the federal agency to bar the use of dogs to hunt black bears and other wildlife, because they really feel like this creates an opportunity for more conflicts between hounds and wolves in the national forest. Hound hunters oppose this effort to ban the use of hounds in the national forest, which spans 1.5 million acres of northern Wisconsin. Basically, they feel that this is an attempt to eliminate all forms of hunting.
Well, we're out of time, but you can keep up with Almanac North by following us on Facebook and Twitter. The WDSC website is the place to find program schedules, updates, and other station news, and download the PBS Video app to watch your favorite PBS programs on demand. Well, Dennis, it looks like a much milder weekend ahead. Maybe we can put away all those insulated pairs of underwear.
Oh, I like hearing that. I like mild winters.
Well, I like winter underwear, so that's a whole different topic. For Dennis Anderson and the crew here at Almanac North, I'm Julie Zenner. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.